Severance has always been a mystery box of unsettling theories, but Season 3 is about to reveal the most horrifying truth yet. The Innies were never real in the first place. From the beginning, we believed that Lumon's severance procedure simply split consciousness, creating two distinct versions of the same person. But what if that was a lie? What if the Innies were never people at all? The signs have been there all along. The way the Innies wake up as blank slates, with no past, no instincts, and no real understanding of the world. The way they struggle to form memories, as if their minds don't actually function like a normal human brain. The chilling way Lumon employees treat them, not like workers, but like expendable test subjects. Season 3 is set to expose the ultimate horror behind the Severance program. Lumon isn't just separating identities, it's manufacturing them. The Innies aren't suppressed versions of their UTIs. They are artificial constructs, created and deleted at will, like software running on human hardware. And the moment Lumon decides they are no longer useful, they are erased, as if they never existed at all. For years, the world outside of Lumon has been led to believe that the severance procedure is simply a corporate tool to increase productivity. But what if Lumon's real goal isn't about controlling employees? It's about creating life itself. The Innies act like people. They think like people, and they even feel emotions like people. But there's something off. Unlike normal humans, they have no natural instincts, no muscle memory, no deep-seated habits that should come from a lifetime of experience. Their personalities don't feel like they were split from someone else. They feel constructed. This would explain why every Innie wakes up in the conference room as if they were experiencing life for the very first time. It's not that their memories were blocked, it's that they never had any to begin with. If this is true, then Lumon isn't just a workplace, it's a laboratory. The employees are not workers. They are experiments, and the moment their trial is over, they are wiped clean, their existence vanishing like a failed simulation. This could explain why some Innies have strange, unnatural emotional responses. Helly, for example, goes into full panic mode the moment she wakes up. She doesn't behave like a normal person who simply lost their memories. She behaves like a creature that has just been born into existence with no context of who or what she is. And if the Innies are nothing more than programmed consciousness, the question isn't just whether they can escape. The real question is, were they ever alive in the first place? Throughout Severance, we've seen the Innies struggle with something terrifying, a total lack of personal history. They don't just forget who they were outside of work, they lack any kind of internal sense of self. Mark's Innie doesn't show any signs of recognizing familiar movements or behaviors. He acts like someone experiencing human interaction for the first time. Irving, despite being the most disciplined, clings to routines as if he's trying to construct an identity from nothing. Scene 4. Helly's existence. Helly questions her very existence from the moment she wakes up, almost as if she wasn't waking up at all, but rather coming into existence for the first time. The most disturbing part, there is no evidence that the Innies ever had a past. In most sci-fi stories involving memory loss, characters eventually recall fragments of their past selves. But in Severance, not a single Innie has ever remembered anything from before their first moment of awakening, because there is nothing to remember. And if the Innies never had a past, that means they were never real to begin with. One of the biggest mysteries in Severance is how the severance chips actually work. The show has never explained the true science behind them, but based on the behavior of the Innies, one terrifying conclusion is becoming clear. The chips do not split a person's consciousness, they generate an entirely new one. Think about it. If the chips simply blocked memories, the Innies should still retain basic instincts, preferences, and muscle memory. But they don't. If the chips only suppressed memories, then reintegration should work instantly, restoring the Innies' experiences. But instead, it causes brain breakdowns, suggesting that the Innies were never meant to exist outside Lumon. When an Innie is deactivated, they don't return to a dormant state inside their OT's mind, they just disappear. This suggests that Lumon has developed a form of consciousness that can be created and destroyed at will. The Innies don't wake up inside their UT's bodies. They are separate entities that exist only when the chip is active. This means that every time an Innie goes to sleep, they are not resting. They are dying. If the Innies are artificial beings created by the Severance chips, then what happens when they die? The truth is even darker than we imagined. Every Innie who has been retired has one thing in common: they never return. Petey was one of the only people to undergo reintegration, and it nearly destroyed his mind. Milchick and the other Lumon executives never treat the Innies as if they are real people, only as things that can be controlled. When an Innie is deactivated, they don't pass on memories. They vanish. The scariest part? If the Innies were never real, then their deaths don't matter. This means that Lumon has created the ultimate form of corporate slavery. Workers who aren't just controlled, but who can be erased the moment they are no longer useful. If Lumon has the ability to create artificial personalities, then there's an even darker question we must ask. Are the outies real? How do we know the outies are real? The show has tricked us into believing that Mark, Helly, and Irving all have lives outside of Lumon. But what if those lives are nothing more than carefully crafted illusions? What if Mark's grief over his wife was planted to make his outie more compliant? What if Helly's entire family background is a fabrication, designed to keep her trapped inside Lumon? What if Irving's obsession with painting isn't a real memory surfacing, but a programmed glitch? If the Innies were never real, and their entire existence was manufactured by Lumon, then reality itself is no longer trustworthy. And worst of all, the people outside of Lumon may not be any more real than the people inside it. If Season 3 confirms this theory, then Severance isn't just a show about workplace horror, it's a show about the fundamental nature of human existence itself. What if the Innies were never real? What if the outies were never real? What if Lumon has the power to create, manipulate, and erase life itself? Season 3 is about to reveal the most disturbing truth of all. This was never just about escaping Lumon. It's about discovering whether anyone in this world was ever real in the first place.